From our studio in Georgetown, this is the TV Delmarva Channel 14 News at 4.
Good day, Delmarva. Reporter Rob Petrie here for TV Delmarva Channel 14 News. Straight ahead, a Georgetown man was arrested on felony manslaughter charges following a shooting that killed a 54-year-old woman. 3 men were arrested on drug and weapons charges in Dover, and Faithful Friends Animal Society has received 50 grand from the Humane Society. These stories and more coming up, but weather first with Hunter Alton.
Hello and happy Thursday, Delmarva. We had a little bit of some precipitation across the region during the pre-dawn hours today, but we recovered quite nicely as we got into the afternoon hours. Taking a live look outside of TV Delmarva Studios here in Georgetown. We have the sunshine, we have a bunch of those cumulus clouds out there, and some nice warm temperatures as well. The camera is shaking a little bit because there is a little bit of a steady breeze out there, but currently it is 78 degrees here in Georgetown. Take a look at satellite and radar. If you see that swirl just off of the coast of Long Island, that is our weak disturbance that is now well off the coast, and it is out of here, and we're just left with some nice fair weather clouds for the most part. Now don't get used to that because there is going to be a little bit of an increase in the cloud cover during the overnight hours tonight, and there may be the slightest chance that we could be looking at some isolated rain showers during the morning hours with the passage of a warm front. But a big warm-up is on the way towards this weekend, where we could be looking at some record highs as well. Now let's have a look at those conditions elsewhere on Delmarva this afternoon. After that sun came out, it warmed up quite quickly across areas of Delmarva. Currently, it is 80 degrees in Salisbury, 80 as well for Pocomoke City. A little bit cooler in Ocean City along the ocean front at 70 degrees, 78 for Easton, 76 for Centerville, 75 for Dover, 74 in Wilmington, and currently 73 degrees in Newark. Now we have been seeing a little bit of some muggy conditions out there. Dew points have now reached the low and even some mid-60s like in areas of Easton and across the bay there, as we're getting ready to be nice and primed for that warm front to arrive during the morning hours tomorrow. Sustained winds, though, we've been seeing a little bit of an increase in those winds from the west, between 10 and 15 miles per hour sustained, but we have been seeing some wind gusts get over 20 at times. So like it's currently gusting to 20 miles per hour in Georgetown, 21 for Salisbury, 14 for Ocean City, 23 miles per hour right now in Easton, 21 in Centerville, and 13 miles per hour from the west in Wilmington. Now we do have some chances of some isolated rain chances for tomorrow, but we're going to be looking at even warmer conditions by the afternoon hours, and especially this weekend though, where we're going to be looking at our first few days of 90-degree temperatures with humidity, and I'll have all those details regarding that here in just a little bit.
Georgetown man was arrested on felony manslaughter charges following a shooting that killed a 54-year-old woman. According to the Delaware State Police Department, the incident occurred around 6 p.m. Tuesday as troopers responded to the 22,000th block of Deep Branch Road in Georgetown for reports that a woman had been shot. When police arrived, they located a 54-year-old female victim inside the home suffering from a gunshot wound. The victim succumbed to her injuries and was pronounced dead at the scene. Her identification is pending notification of next of kin. Police say 26-year-old Jordan Walls was showing the victim his weapon at the home and a gunshot was fired. Troopers recovered a 20-gauge shotgun at the scene. Walls was taken into custody without incident and transported to Troop 4, where he was charged with felony manslaughter. He has since been arraigned and committed to the Sussex Correctional Institution on a $120,000 cash bond. Well, 3 men were arrested on drug and weapons charges in Dover. According to Dover police, on Tuesday, officers were conducting surveillance for a firearms investigation in the area of New Hope Apartments when they spotted 19-year-old Shaquan Shields leave the area as a passenger in a vehicle. Shields was wanted on family court cases, and officers made contact with him when the vehicle stopped in the parking lot of a nearby convenience store around 2 p.m. on DuPont Highway. Now, during the stop, police police say they located 50 grams of marijuana in plain view next to Shields. Shields was taken into custody without incident and found to be in possession of a loaded 9mm handgun and 21 bags of heroin, according to police. Later that day, around 3:50 p.m., officers tried to make contact with 19-year-old Devon Randall on New Street after police say he was spotted with a handgun. When officers approached Randall, he reportedly fled into a nearby building and into an apartment. Officers located a 9mm handgun in the path where Randall fled from officers. Officers then applied for a search warrant for the apartment and were able to take Randall and an 18-year-old Zaire Payne into custody. During the search, officers located a .40 caliber handgun and 87 grams of marijuana. All three were committed to the Sussex Correctional Institution on cash bonds. Look but don't touch, much less disturb, and even then, just a quick glance and be on your way. That would be DENREC's message to Delawareans who are likely to see young wildlife in their backyards or almost anywhere in the outdoors this time of year. DENREC wants the public to be aware that the best thing to do when encountering young wildlife of any species is to leave the animal alone, since their mothers are usually nearby monitoring them. Taking or rescuing a young animal from the wild almost inevitably means that it will not survive. Thus, the reminder from DENREC's Division of Fish and Wildlife is, if you care, leave them there. While some young animals may appear to be abandoned, most often they are not, with their mothers usually in close proximity waiting for the person who discovered them to move on. And speaking of animals, Faithful Friends Animal Society has received $50,000 from the Humane Society to help animals across the state of Delaware, as we hear from Faithful Friends Development Manager Michelle Neef.
We are so excited. We did receive a $50,000 Pets for Life mentorship grant from the Humane Society of the United States. And what this is going to do is we're going to be able to provide free veterinary care, including vaccines, education, spay and neuter, to the neighborhoods in the city of Wilmington and also Sparrow Run in Newark, Delaware. So we are just extremely excited. We're the first Delaware animal welfare organization to receive this funding from the Humane Society of the United States. We are a nonprofit animal welfare organization, and we have an animal shelter. We serve about 500 pets daily. It includes at our shelter and in foster care. And about 1,400 pets get adopted annually. In addition to our animal shelter, we also have a standalone full-service veterinary clinic, and we offer bi-monthly vaccine clinics that are drive up to ensure pets are getting preventative care. We have multiple outreach programs, including a statewide pet therapy program. We have outreach programs, including a free food and supply bank. And through nationally, because of the environment and the pandemic, the goal is to keep pets and families together.
Coming up ahead of Memorial Day, Delaware will be joining the national Click It or Ticket campaign. More details on the way. Don't go away. Well, the Delaware Office of Highway Safety is reminding drivers about the life-saving benefits of wearing a seatbelt this spring during the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration's Click It or Ticket campaign. Delaware is joining the National Seatbelt Campaign, which coincides with the Memorial Day holiday and runs from May 20th to June 5th. For this year's Click It or Ticket seatbelt mobilization effort, all states participating, including Delaware, are being asked to kick off the event with a border-to-border effort. That's a one-day, 4-hour national seatbelt awareness event on May 23rd. Now, the border-to-border program aims to increase law enforcement participation by coordinating high-visible seatbelt enforcement. Over the past year in Delaware, 49% of people that were killed in crashes were not wearing a seatbelt. Well, it's looking like we're in store for increasing clouds and mild conditions tonight as we get a preview of your pinpoint weather forecast with Hunter Alton.
A mild night is in store across the region with increasing clouds throughout the overnight hours. A warm front will be lifting through in the morning, which could spark some isolated showers before we have decreasing clouds and even warmer conditions settling in for Friday. and we have some early summertime heat on the way for this weekend. Now, how warm will it get this weekend? I'll let you know when we come back here on TV Delmarva, Channel 14 News. Alrighty, Delmarva, let's get right into the pinpoint forecast for the overnight hours into the day on Friday, because we're going to be continuing the warm weather for the next couple of days and even some summer-like warmth once we get in towards this weekend. But during the overnight hours tonight, we are going to be looking at some mostly clear skies, but we will be increasing the clouds, especially after midnight, and we're going to be looking at some fairly mild temperatures across the region. Overnight lows to 60 to 64 degrees, and we got some light winds from the southwest at about 5 miles per hour. Take a look at Futurecast. Rest of the overnight hours into the day on Friday. This is 8 o'clock this evening. We still got plenty areas of some mostly clear skies just after sunset. And we got some nice warm temperatures too in the mid and upper 70s. Once we get into the heart of the overnight hours, we're beginning to look at a little bit of some cloud cover beginning to move in from the west. Temperatures are still going to be fairly mild for the most part, only getting down into the low and mid 60s. Now, tomorrow morning is going to be a little bit of a tricky one because we are going to be having a warm front move through the area, and we'll have to watch out for this thunderstorm complex across areas of the Midwest United States, because we could be looking at a couple of isolated showers during the morning hours in combination with that warm front as it begins to lift off towards our north and east. But nice and mild temperatures though in the mid and upper 60s. Going into the afternoon hours though, we're going to be looking at some decreasing clouds, and once again temperatures are going to be very mild in the low to mid 80s with mostly sunny skies. And then by the time we get into the evening hours, we're going to be looking at some high thin cirrus clouds across the region, and right at sunset temperatures very mild, mid to upper 70s, and they're not really going to change all that much once we get into the overnight hours. 2 o'clock in the morning, we still got plenty of some high thin cirrus clouds out there, but temperatures in most locations might not even drop below 70 degrees just in time for this weekend. Friday forecast overall, watch out for areas of some isolated showers during the morning hours, but it will be becoming partly the mostly sunny skies, and another mild day across the region too. Afternoon temperatures of 82 to 86 degrees, and we got some light winds from the south between 5 and 10 miles per hour. Take a look at the allergy index for your Friday. We're looking at some fairly high levels of pollen. Once again, 9.2 out of 12 on our scale. Still the top allergens are for oak and birch trees in the form of tree pollen, but we're starting to see an increase in that grass pollen as well. No surprise as we get into the summer season. Now we're going to switch gears to take a look at the marine conditions for your Friday, beginning with the Atlantic. Areas of some morning rain showers and afternoon sun. 73 degrees, winds from the south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. With seas of around 2 to 4 feet. Take a look at the Delaware Bay. We got morning showers, afternoon sun, 75 degrees, winds from the southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour with seas of less than 1 foot expected. And then the Chesapeake Bay, morning showers, afternoon sun, 80 degrees, winds from the southeast at 5 to 15 miles per hour. And we could be looking at seas right around 1 foot on the Chesapeake. Now, going into the overnight hours tomorrow night, we are going to be looking at some mostly clear skies, a lot of cirrus clouds out there, but a very mild night ahead with overnight lows of 68 to 73 degrees. These are the kind of overnight lows that we would see during the month of July, let alone the month of May. So we're going to be looking at some very warm weather going into this weekend as we are continuing with those light winds from the south between 5 and 10 miles per hour. Now, as we take a look at the extended outlook, well, you thought it was warm over the last couple of days. You haven't seen nothing yet. Going into this weekend, though, it's going to be our first set of 90-degree days, especially on Saturday, where we're looking at mostly sunny skies, highs in the low, and maybe even some mid-90s across areas of Delmarva. And we're going to be looking at some humidity as well, where we could be looking at some heat indices getting close to that triple-digit mark. We're 90 degrees once again on Sunday with a chance of some scattered thunderstorms by the evening hours. On Monday, though, we're going to be having a cold front move through, and that's going to be giving us a good chance of some rain showers and dropping those temperatures down back into the mid-70s, and much drier conditions going into the mid portions of next week. And with cooler temperatures, too, sitting around the temperatures of 75 to 79 degrees for both Wednesday and Thursday.
Coming up, a grand jury has indicted the gunman believed to be responsible for shooting and killing 10 people in a Buffalo supermarket. More details straight ahead. Keep it here. A grand jury has indicted the alleged gunman in the Buffalo, New York grocery store shooting that left 10 people dead. 18-year-old Peyton Gendron appeared briefly in court Thursday, where he was indicted on first-degree murder charges. A total of 10 people were killed in the attack at the Tops Friendly Market in a predominantly black neighborhood of Buffalo. Of the 13 people shot, 11 of them were black. Authorities are still investigating the possibility of tacking on hate and terrorism charges. The gunman has pleaded not guilty.
Weather Classroom is sponsored by No Nonsense Office Machines, committed to providing quality products and services with over 15 years of experience here in Sussex County. All right, ladies and gentlemen, today's weather lesson we will be discussing lightning safety. Lightning is a leading cause of injury and death from weather-related hazards. Although most lightning victims survive, people struck by lightning often report a variety of long-term debilitating symptoms. I myself, as a lightning strike victim back in 2014, with some lifelong medical issues caused from a lightning strike. Taking precautions from lightning during a thunderstorm can and will save your life. Know your area's risk for thunderstorms. In most places, they can occur year-round and at any hour. Keeping up to date with your local forecast on a day-to-day basis is a great start. When thunder roars, go indoors. Find a safe enclosed shelter. Safe shelters include homes, offices, shopping centers, and hardtop vehicles with the windows rolled up. Don't forget the 30-30 rule. After you see lightning, start counting to 30, and if you hear thunder before you reach 30, go indoors. Suspend activities for at least 30 minutes after the last clap of thunder. Never shelter underneath an isolated tree. That's because trees are a very common grounding feature for lightning to strike. And immediately get out of the way from ponds, lakes, and other bodies of water, since water is a very high conductor for electricity. Stay away from objects that conduct electricity, such as barbed wire fences, power lines, and/or windmills. These simple measures will dramatically reduce your risk of being struck by lightning with the upcoming storm season ahead.
Well, that about does it for us today, Delmarva. Be sure to follow us on Facebook at TV Delmarva and on our website, tvdelmarva.com, for real-time news and weather updates. And while you're there, be sure to sign our petition calling on the major cable providers to carry TV Delmarva on their platforms so we can provide this kind of local programming to all of Delmarva. Until next time, I'm Rob Petrie reporting for TV Delmarva Channel 14 News.